personally, I think, or the Hamas and the Israeli government are essentially two sides of the same coin.
What's up, guys? Welcome back to my channel. It's your girl Nanefia. Today we are back again with another video from Charlie Kirk. So today Charlie Kirk obliterates students who says Hamas and Israel are the same. This is going to be interesting. So guys, without further ado, let's get started.
To preface, I'm a progressive, and I would like to have some discourse with you over the Israel-Palestine conflict. I'm just gonna say I fully condemn Hamas, and my current position is that there should be a one-state solution where it's anti-apartheid. However, there should be the international community with the United Nations should be responsible for leading the peace process. And personally, I think, the Hamas and the Israeli government are essentially two sides of the same coin.
You were doing so well.
Sorry.
No, it's okay.
I'm not good with public speaking.
No, I just mean the points. The speaking is fine. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
So I think with the recent conflict, of course, what Hamas did was terrible. However, I think it's very important to understand the context of why they did it. They're very radical, and that radicalization has essentially formed from the Israeli government bullying the Gaza Strip for the past 50 years and obstructing their freedoms.
Okay. Let me just ask, so thank you for condemning the attacks. I wish we had every member of Congress that could do that. So, however, let's just make sure we have our stuff clear. You say the Israeli government and Hamas are the same side of a coin, right?
Maybe there's some differences, yes, but
okay, yeah. Well, the differences are pretty big. So let me just go through the last 2 weeks, and I want you to just at least acknowledge it or not acknowledge it. Hamas gave no warning before they slaughtered 1,300 women and children. Israel did multiple days of warnings and dropping leaflets before they dropped any bombs on civilian corridors. Is that moral equivalency?
No.
Well, I think, of course, I think Hamas is much worse.
Okay, good. So they're not the same coin. Got it. So, because you said they're
similar coins, maybe the penny and the nickel.
Oh, okay. All right. Let's go to the next question. Let's go to the next kind of.
Well, okay.
Element.
So, I think that. So, as I said earlier, I think the international community should get more involved. A while ago, I read the book "Palestinian Peace, Not Apartheid" by President Jimmy Carter, and the book essentially boils down to three things. The Israel country and its borders should be respected. I agree. Palestinians and Jews should coexist peacefully, and they shouldn't be killed, which is the third thing. I think.
So, okay, I got to interrupt.
Okay, sorry.
No,
I'm so sorry.
All right, no, it's okay. So let me just I want to try to get this along to some sort of clarity, if not agreement. Who's a bigger impediment to peace, Israel or Hamas?
I think the biggest impediment is the reactionary politics and reactions between the two groups.
A simple question.
Hamas had been radicalized by the Jews, or rather the Israel government, which had been radicalized by the history of Arabs killing Jews.
I got to cut you off, man. Wait, what? Like you said, Hamas is radicalized by the Israeli government.
Well,
they're radicalized by Islam, not by the Israeli government. Islam is what radicalized Hamas.
I knew as much.
Not everything goes back to the Jews, man, right?
Well, no. I'm sorry. So I think, the conflict essentially boils down to its history. The Arabs killed a bunch of Jews in its history. The Jews killed a bunch of, through the Zionist movement, through colonialism, and during. Okay.
All right. I don't want to spend too much time on this, but I just want to ask one final question. Is if Hamas would lay down all of before this massacre, okay, would have laid down all of their weapons, what do you think would have happened? And if Israel laid down all of their weapons, what do you think would happen?
So I'll address the second part. If Israel lays down all its weapons, I think terrorist groups such as Hamas and the Palestinian Authority would use this opportunity to kill a bunch of Israelis.
I agree. So we have clarity on that. So, great. Before the massacre, because heightened tensions, if Hamas would have laid down their weapons and Gaza would have laid down their weapons, what do you think would have happened?
I think the Israel government would try to essentially do something similar, where they would try to push out all of
Peace.
the Palestinians. As
we would have
I do
peace,
not think they
is what
have
we would
freedom
have.
of
Simple.
movement.
That's
So
good.
we're not going to agree on this. Let me just make a couple
Okay.
points. Israel, time and time again, has sat down for peace. Abraham Accords, Oslo Accords, Camp David Accords, which was facilitated. At every corner, Israel has given up land, Sinai Peninsula, parts of the West Bank, parts of Judea and Samaria, in the pursuit of peace. And I just encourage you, and you've been intellectually honest, but I want you to think about this, and anyone who might agree with you, that these are not morally equivalent. You have one side that has a democratically elected government that allows pluralism in the Knesset, Arab, Judaism. In Gaza, they are one size fits all. Hamas took over power, was voted into power, and the stated doctrine of Hamas is no morally different than Nazism. It's not an exaggeration. It's not about land. It's not about winning hearts or souls. It's about killing Jews. And the issue is this. Well, more than the issue, is that Hamas now invited this conflict, okay? And this is where my sympathy kind of wanes down to little next to nothing, is that there was at least some form of an equilibrium. They were in Gaza, Israel is in Israel, and on a holy day in the 50-year anniversary of the Yom Kippur War, they decided to go into kibbutzes, which I know that you denounce. But at that point, they're going to F around and find out, and Hamas should be obliterated for that action. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
I mean, first of all, I need to say something. I mean, Charlie is a very well articulated man. I mean, his intelligence is like top notch. I just love his intelligence level. He's smart, and I just love the way he's so articulate. Like, you know, he brings his words, his facts so clear and so loud, and I really give that to him. He's good with that. And secondly, why was he comparing Israelites to Hamas? Like, why? How on hell will you do that? I know when he said they are the same, fine, they are all doing something bad. They are all fighting war, and war is not something that we should be proud of. Like, you know, it's embarrassing. It's inhumanity. So if he's talking about they being the same, maybe they are the same because they are all fighting the war, which is a bad thing to do, you know. But aside that, morally, there is nothing morally the same about these two. I mean, Hamas is someone that he's not ready to end this. He's someone that he literally, for the look of things, is nowhere near peace in the making. I just love the illustration Charlie put when he asked, so if Israelites is supposed to drop their weapon, what is the probability of this war? He said, if Israelites drops their weapon now, I mean, Hamas will take the advantage and attack them because they know maybe they've let their guards down. But if Hamas was supposed to drop their weapon, what will happen? Probability of peace, Israelites coming together to also drop their weapon and for peace to prevail, is high. So that talk more about these two, that these two are definitely not morally the same. I don't really take sides whenever I'm talking about this Hamas and Israelite war, but I think Charlie has a point here, and this really makes sense when he says they are morally not the same. And actually, yeah, they're morally not the same because Israelites were just there, like they are there. They were just, celebrating, and they got attacked, you know. And even before Israelites fought back, attacked them back, they gave warnings upon warnings before they dropped their bombs, or they dropped their missiles and other stuff, so to compare these two, I think there is no way they are no way closer to be the same, and they thinking the guy made a point. I think I have to give to the guy, he has this intellectual growth in him. Maybe he might not be good at the public speaking, but I think whatever points he was trying to make about the peacekeeping, like maybe a foreign country being a middle ground for peacekeeping, I think he has a point there, because if this war can end, I think they need to have a middle ground on something. At least a foreign country can be a mediator to the peace, and I think it's good. It's really a good decision over there, because I heard in history way back, I think when Nigeria was fighting a war with them each other, they were fighting. I think the Southern and the Northerners were fighting a war. I think they ended up coming to Ghana for their peacekeeping, and they ended up drawing a contract, and I think it went well. So I think he suggesting a middle grounds to peacekeeping, I think it's a good idea, and for me personally, I just hope this thing is just pointless, because if they can drop their weapons for peace to happen, why don't they do it? Why don't they do it? Because until when would this thing stop? Until when would this thing ends? Hamas dropping missile, Israel defending it back. Hamas, it doesn't make sense. I think we will owe this world a peaceful state. Because if Israel drops their weapon and they think Hamas will just attack back, why don't Hamas also drop their weapon? For me, I just hope this will end very soon. Both of them should just drop their weapon. Because if Israel drops their weapon, there is no way peace can prevail, because war doesn't happen like that. War doesn't happen when one person drops the weapon. Because if one person drops the weapon, probability of the other person attacking with full force is very high. So for me, I hope both of them comes to a middle grounds on something, because the world need that peace. If I preach peace, I think this thing will end very soon. For me, I personally think both of them should just drop their weapon, because the world needs that. The world needs that kind of unity, that kind of love, that kind of harmony, that kind of peace. So Palestine, Israelites, Hamas, whatever being the war, I think the world need that peace. For me, I personally think they both should drop their weapons so that peace can prevail in this war. Yeah. And if they need middle ground to find their peace too, I think Ghana is here for them. Ghana is known to be the peaceful country that always have peaceful mediation. They are good at peaceful mediation. That was just by the way. I just hope both of them drop their weapon. Jewish, Muslim, Christian, I think we are all human beings, and we all deserve a better life, a better world. And we can have that better world if the country, the world is peaceful. So guys, let me know what you think about this video. Do you really think Hamas will drop their weapon? Do you really think Israel is ready to drop the weapon? Let me know what you think about this video. Let me know if you have any recommendation for me and you have any suggestion for me, don't forget to leave it down there. And if you are new to my channel, so welcome, and don't forget to click on the subscription button for more notifications. Thanks for watching.